Episode 6!
Episode 6!
Alright, so, less formal of introduction, no announcements or anything for this one, but a quick recap will be, we went to Munkin's Onyx Pillar Academy, talked with him for a bit. Lorelith spoke with Savarin separately. People shared various things from their interests or backgrounds, but ultimately a deal was brokered that Munkin gave you all a vessel, a glass bottle that is not box-shaped or wooden, so that you all would take that and use his prototype device to potentially capture a Chuloth, or Chul, but most likely the Chuloth, or capture anything really, just to prove that it is useful and helpful and that other people can do it, not just him. Offered 50 silver pieces for the Chuloth or 20 for literally anything else. Yes.
So if we were to somehow catch Big Daddy Chul,
Yeah.
you're saying we would only get 20 silver pieces for that?
No, it counts in the family
as
of the
a
Chulness. Yeah. Then the dinner was not so much interrupted, but also, interrupted by a green-caped person.
Yeah.
Emerald Sentinel. Thank you, I forgot. I didn't take notes at all.
Emerald Sentinel.
Whose name was Lawson. And so he gave you all a letter that gave you all rooms at the Elisa Regional. And with that, 4/6 of you stayed at the Elisa Regional as Pilgrim went to the Cozy Cots, and Lorelith put her hood up and waited outside patiently. And so before the sleeping happens, we've got a couple people doing different things. Let's jump to you first. We've got Pilgrim trotting his way over to the Cozy Cots at what is now an hour after nightfall. So dinner and conversation and stuff at the Onyx Pillar took a while, and you are heading back around Ben's time.
I'm walking towards the Cozy Cots, and then as it comes into view, stop, because Pilgrim has just remembered something. And so Pilgrim pulls out from one of his fantasy pockets, a note that he received from Tricasio?
Yeah.
Tricasio gave Pilgrim this. Tricasio is the nice lizard boy that has talked to me in the past, for those listeners who may have forgotten. And I reread the letter. The letter says, "There is a meeting. Basement," I'll do it in Pilgrim's mind voice. "There is a meeting. Basement of where we most recently spoke. Tonight. Leader's name, 25 silver. Topic of meeting, 15 silver. No trails or traces." Pilgrim's not about to spend his money on stuff he's going to find out at this meeting anyways. So, Pilgrim stashes the letter again, and he walks into the Cozy Cot. What I just know, I know where the basement is.
Wait, clarify for me, not going to spend his money doing what?
Maybe I don't understand this letter, but
Tricasio is willing to pay you for that information. He will give you that amount of silver if you give him that information.
Oh,
yes.
That makes so much more sense. I was like, why would I pay money if I'm going to go and find out who the leader is and what the topic is?
Yeah.
Okay, well, great. In that case, that gives me something to think about. 2 things, really.
Cool. Lorelith.
Hey!
And this has been my time on the show. You're welcome.
Later, we're going to talk about why Steven is no longer at the table. But before we get to that, we can walk through your evening then.
Okay.
So, what are you doing?
I'm waiting for Savarin to meet me downstairs about the plan.
Outside of the Onyx Pillar? Or are you doing? Okay, cool.
Just lurking with my little hood up till she meets me down there.
Wait about an hour and a half once you get there.
So long.
It is a long time. It is.
I've spent hundreds of years by myself. This is no time.
That is very true. And so, eventually, you can hear the tiny footsteps.
Okay.
Savarin steps out of the doorway and starts to look around.
Just for the sake of being succinct, I fill her in on the conversation I have with Pilgrim. I say, we will take it. He will look at it. We want to take it with us tomorrow to see what it might do. He has said the best way for us to get it to him, and the safest way is to put it in some of the stew, so that way we don't have to physically touch it. And I will take it over to him at the Cozy Cots.
Okay. Will you just come up with me?
Yes.
Okay. That makes me feel a lot better. In case it happens. Okay. No soup then? Or if you want it in a bowl, we can put it in a bowl.
He made it seem like it has.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Maybe he just wanted more soup. I don't know, but.
I was this close to getting another free meal.
Okay. And so, walking into the front door, and you go through the operating room entryway that comes up, and also where you all initially talked with Munkin. And as you get to the next floor, she explains that it's now a good time for being quiet. Just to make sure that Munkin isn't disturbed as you go past the kitchen and up past Munkin's room to get up to the top attic. So, if you would like to make a stealth check for
I knew
me.
that was coming.
Don't forget the fox can be.
I don't know that that's necessary right now.
I wouldn't
Just
vote for
reminding
you.
it because we haven't yet, but
Did you just say you wouldn't have voted for me?
Uh-huh.
Great. What a supportive husband.
I just don't want her to wake up Lunkin.
15.
Okay.
Wait.
She didn't need
Uh-huh.
Do I have a modifier? What would it be?
Stealth and dexterity, if you were proficient with it.
Nope.
Okay, so at least just dexterity.
Just normal. Wait. Yeah. Just dexterity.
Okay.
I don't have any. So 15.
Okay, great. As you both continue to step and tiptoe and move past a couple of floors, the stairs all the way through this are hewed out of the stone, so no creaking, no loud noises or anything, and you are able to slip into your either hunter or escaping stealth, as you have done both, and it feels kind of like home for you to stealth as it is. Doing this feels very comfortable, and you, with your hood back up and your bones exposed from the hood and everything, just and get up to the door for the attic. And then Savarin reaches into her robe, pulls out a key, and then looks back and says, "Okay, so I haven't been back in the room since this happened, and I don't know exactly where the stone is, but I'm sure we'll be able to find it. Maybe we shouldn't just touch it. Do you have something that you can put in, or did we grab a bowl and stew? Did we?
We grabbed it while we
While we
ran
snuck
past
around.
the
Okay, cool.
kitchen.
One of you is holding a bowl of stew, and then she pulls out the key.
Got it.
Great. Okay. She has the ladle as well. Let's go. When she opens the door, there
Can she
are-
get like tongs or something instead? Do they have tongs? I feel suspicious about a ladle. I feel like it might fall out.
Tongs for stew?
No,
Yeah.
for the stone to go in the stew.
just has a ladle. She's got her ladle. She's ready.
Okay,
She's
alright.
confident.
All right, fine.
So, opens the door up, and it's lots and lots of shelves of vials, potions, and boxes. But a lot of the things that are up there are like stacks of blank parchment, and just different stacks of closed boxes and things like that. But it's also the smallest room of all of them. It's gotten progressively smaller and smaller to get to the top of this tower, so it's very congested. And so it's completely dark, and Savarin didn't bring a light or anything. Do you have dark vision?
I think I do.
What is your race again? You're
I'm a white elf.
Okay. I don't remember.
A wealth.
I think one of them saw dark.
Where would it tell me that? Yes, I have dark vision of up to 60 feet.
Great, okay. So Savarin just looks over and says, Can you see?
And I'm like, heck yeah. No, I wouldn't say that.
What?
Yes.
From down the stairs. Okay. And so, if you would make an investigation check for me.
Jeez. Nice.
Oh. That's a 1.
Oh, that's a natural 1.
Yes.
Laura stabs her own eyes.
You go blind. You go blind.
All right.
She finds a mousetrap.
I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Okay.
Oh no.
Don't touch the stone.
Uh-oh.
You're wise.
Can I use the fox?
For the saving throw?
Yeah.
Would you like to approach the fox?
I would like to approach the fox.
The classy fox.
Okay.
What spell did you just use?
I didn't use a spell.
She's about to use a wisdom saving throw, so I think that we are voting on if she can use a fox bonus to not have her mind controlled by a rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your plus or minus on the wisdom?
I
Saving
have
throws?
a +1 on wisdom.
On saving throws?
And I guess you can't tell us how high of a saving throw she has.
Yes.
I don't want it to happen.
I kind of think it'd be fun.
That's fine, but
That's why we're voting.
We're advertising the fox
Are
right.
we voting as our characters or as ourselves?
I mean, you
You
can
as a
vote.
person.
You can vote. No, the rest of us can vote yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote yes.
I'm gonna vote no.
Then yes.
We're all voting yes.
All right. If you're voting
Oh,
yes,
come on. Have a little
It only has to be
fun.
4, so.
5, 6 have voted yes. So.
Did you vote?
Huh?
No, my
Oh,
vote
you're
counts.
not voting.
5, 6.
So did you grab the specific die that is on the
Oh,
box?
no.
You may use the die.
If you don't use his,
I
die,
do
you
both,
get
right?
controlled in real life.
No.
How does it work?
No, just roll his.
You get a
I mean,
+5.
you get
He gets +5.
Yeah. So all total you're
Thank
plus
you,
6,
Joffrey.
plus 6 on what you roll.
Jeffrey?
Stop voting that one.
Jehu free. 6.
The 16.
16
Fine.
plus 6.
Okay.
Plus 1, yeah.
Mine too.
As you are reaching around this room and all the different crevices and boxes, and you're patting your hands on the ground trying to find where the stone might be, you reach back around the corner and you feel something and you grab onto it, and then you can hear in your head, "Take me to the lake," and then you let go of it and you pull
Okay.
back,
All right.
and you are fine.
Okay. I'm okay. I'm not possessed.
Mhm.
Great. Okay. So I'm like, Svarin, I found it. Hand me the ladle. This
Did you put your hand in the cup of
Are you okay?
I'll go ask.
I'm okay. I do hear the voice that you were talking about, but I think I'm good now. I let go of it.
Okay.
But hand me the ladle.
She hands you the ladle.
I give her soup.
Oh, right. We brought this.
Good soup. Good soup. I ladle the stone
Mhm.
up, and I plop it in the soup.
Mm-hmm.
Put the lid on it. I don't know if it has a lid.
Paul doesn't have a lid, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Does the soup take the stone to the lake?
We'll see.
The soup has to make
cool.
a list.
Is Svarin okay? Okay.
Take me to
I take the soup back, and I'm like, great. Nothing serious or important is happening right now. Don't worry.
You're continuing to narrate. You're good.
Great. I take the soup back. I'm like, all right, we've got it. I'm gonna go take this to Pilgrim. He's gonna maybe know what to do with it, but it'll be out of here, so you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Okay. Thank you.
There's your ladle.
Okay. Bring that bowl back sometime. He'll notice.
Dang.
Okay.
All right.
You can just, if he asks about it, just tell him that Pilgrim needed a bowl of soup to go because he doesn't have a lot of food. Would he be okay with that?
Cicero was really weird. I think that'd be easier to believe.
That Cicero took
That
extra
he
soup?
stole.
Yeah.
Okay.
That he didn't enjoy.
Great, tell him that.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Put up
Oh,
to the cozy cots.
another stealth check. You get down the shower.
It's fine.
Steal.
14.
Okay. Great.
I'll make it.
You proceed down the stairs and get to the door without any interruption or sound.
Oh, we didn't think.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Johnny.
Jeffrey.
Is it Jeffrey or Jeffrey?
I think it's Jeffrey.
If I told you one, you'd say the other. So.
That's true. He's not wrong.
She said Jeffrey, he said Jeffrey. So
Well, because she originally said
His
Jeffrey
original
and
name
I
was
said
Jeffrey,
Jeffrey.
but Sally renamed him. Today is his new name day. He is Jeffrey.
New name day.
Wow, congrats, Jeffrey.
Thanks,
Okay.
Joffrey.
So as
Joff,
you are
Jeff.
now heading to the cozy cots,
Cozy
we zoom in on the cozy cots where you are hopefully up to something.
We zoomed too close.
Do I know where the basement is already this place?
No. You have not seen a basement. You've not seen stairs to a basement.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to the bartender.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just a desk where the person
Desk,
who runs
the
them-
person desk.
Yeah, they don't have a bar.
Okay.
It's the cozy cop.
I haven't learned this person's name. I've not been kind enough to do that.
Correct.
Great.
Golden bartender.
So I walk up and I say, good evening.
Another night, Zagreus, is a halfling with a very pointed nose and little buck teeth that kind of stick out. And then scraggly brown hair and a little ponytail in the back.
I must apologize in my
It's Zagreus.
Syagrius. Good evening. You may have noticed that every night that I have been here, I have attempted, upon waking, to meditate, to center myself. I'm sure you've been here long enough to know that can be a very daunting task, finding peace and quiet with the hustle and bustle. I need a place that I can quietly connect with my higher power and properly meditate. Is there a space, perhaps a basement, where I can have some privacy and connect in solitude?
Yeah, our quietest rooms are up at the top floor. There are 3 silver a night, though, if you're willing to pay that.
Got you.
So, by doing basic math, I suppose I could calculate that 6 silver would earn me a basement.
What do you ask? What are you looking for?
A basement.
Did someone send you?
Oh my gosh.
What do you?
You're losing your cool there, Pilgrim.
What's your business in this basement?
Well, the benefit of role playing is that I can pause for a second and think it's Steven, okay? So, fantasy time is paused and Steven is thinking.
Steven knows what he's about to say.
Yeah,
We're
I
just
already
waiting for him
know.
to say
This is
it.
dramatic.
You know where you're from.
I am
Pausing
from.
for suspense.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're okay.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did someone send you?
I was led here by Tricasio, if that's what you mean.
Oh, then. No. I just wondered if you were looking for something in particular, but no. It's just the room. Our highest floor is the most private.
So, alright, I'm just gonna look at him and smile and do my whole mind link and say, I would very much like to go to the basement, please.
Tell me the name of the person in the meeting, is what you hear back.
Oh, I see. And I'm just gonna directly make eye contact with him and say, I cannot tell you that until I attend said meeting.
Make a persuasion check.
I don't know the name.
I don't
He
know.
doesn't.
I have no idea.
Oh, it wasn't on the paper?
He's not invited to this meeting.
It's a 9.
Okay.
Ugh.
He does have a book down on the table when she closes and says, "You would know." He says out loud now. You would know if you needed to know.
Know the name of the leader.
And fighting words.
Then why would I be given a note directly?
Who gave you this note?
And then I repeat the question. Why would I be given the note directly?
It depends on who gave you the note.
Oh. Fight.
Oh, jeez.
Works every time.
Okay. Good
Rips off his
restoration.
head, just like the crown.
Many people want many things, Pilgrim.
And many people have died by my hand. I'm not going to intimidate them. And I said that through mind link.
That was an intimidation in case you're wondering.
You may roll an intimidation check,
Yes.
sir.
That's 11 plus what? Anything?
It would be charisma.
Charisma? That's a 12.
Okay. You are. Okay. You are not welcome back here, and I will give you just one moment to just gather yourself and.
Okay.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, you know, Pilgrim kind of gives like a resigned smile and he shrugs. And he says, you should change the name of your establishment. He turns around and he leaves.
As you like lean back to get your quip in, you can see very short guy at that, but he stood on the stool as he was watching you, and a little bit of his vest kind of moved to the side, and he had a dagger. He's just holding on to it and just watching as you go out.
Fight him.
Sit back
And
in your
can I look around the room? Is Drakasha there?
make a perception check.
Oh my gosh. Can I just like do it? Can I just, what's the rooms? I have a passive persuasion 15. Is that
Roll the dice. This is D&D, bro.
Oh, okay. It's a 2.
Aww.
Sorry.
I see Joey. We don't
Passively,
sit.
before you left, you did not notice Drakasha, and then as you go to give an active glance back just to think about it and everything, you were too hurried on your way out to really give enough time.
Okay. Well, that's the end of my deal.
Shortly after you leave and on your way out, you see a lady with soup approaching you.
Wow.
Good soup.
Okay. And I'm gonna, is she 30 feet away from me or closer?
Do you have dark vision? Okay. Then if she says something to you, you would hear her before you see her, but eventually she would get into your 10 feet range where you can see her.
But I can see you.
Okay. It's like, I see you brought soup.
Yes. Good soup. Not
I'm-
human soup.
I'm filling time until you're within 30 feet from me.
Here.
You are.
I am now.
Mind link is the stone in the soup.
Yes.
Stone soup.
Was there any trouble claiming the stone? Did anything occur?
Yes. So in the attic where the soup was. where the stone was.
Soup was there too.
The soup was.
I don't know.
I was reaching around to find it and I accidentally touched it. And I did hear a loud voice in my head, much similarly to how you talk to me in my brain, that said, "Bring the stone to the lake." Right? Or did it say bring me
Bring
to the
me to
lake?
To the lake.
Which I don't
Bring
know that.
Bring me to the lake. It said, bring me to the lake. I immediately let it go, did not hear it anymore. Picked it up with a ladle, put it in the soup, now we're here. I was very stealthy about it, don't you worry. Felt important to say.
Okay. Great. Can I,
You can take the soup.
how far away is the fancy place, the Elisa?
Looks like we're sharing a room now. I was getting a room to myself, but...
Within like a 10-minute walk.
Could Laura try and get in for it?
Well, here's what I'm thinking is I want to experiment with this funky stone, but if it takes over my noggin, then I want to have the plan that she is going to get the rest of the people. But like, so is the Elisa closer to us than the lake is to us, or are they basically equal distance?
It would be pretty equal. Maybe the lake is a bit further.
Okay.
I was gonna say, could Laura try and get into the basement?
No way. I'm not charismatic enough for that, for sure. I don't even know what a cod is.
That's a feisty halfling. It was not pleasant. Okay. Okay. Would it be alright with you if we brought this stone back to your room at the Elisa? I would like to experiment, but if something goes wrong, I would like to be close to the rest of our companions.
Sure, that sounds great. I was supposed to have a room to myself anyway, so we will have the privacy that we need, but also I assume all of the rooms are near to each other, and we can wake them up if we need to.
Perfect.
Okay. So
So then let's go. Yeah,
okay.
go.
Heading there, you
Take
got the key
the
to the
soup.
room. Nothing hinky happens. You're ready to go. So back into
Okay.
the room.
Have the soup.
Do you prepare anything or any conversations with anyone, or is this completely you're with him?
Oh, whose room is closest to me?
They are all clustered left and right, so you've got a room to your left and one to your right.
Do I know which room is which?
You didn't go in,
I didn't go in.
right? Did you? I thought you
I
didn't.
didn't.
Right. Okay. So you don't even know where the rooms are, really.
Okay.
Like, Tuli gave you a key, or Cicero gave you a key, and was like, here's your room, here's the insignia that's on the door. So you've got that.
Okay. Well. So I have no idea which room either of them would be in.
I think it's fair enough to say, like, we're in the rooms next to you, like
Okay.
that. So maybe exactly who's in which, you don't know, but
Okay.
you know friendlies are in the ones next to you.
I knock on whatever one is first.
Mm-hmm. Let's do roll a d6. Odd is going to be the ladies. Even will be the boys.
What is it? 6.
All right, you get probably misery.
Hey, you have gained misery.
I have. Hello.
Oh my gosh. Hey, what's up?
I was looking for Gwen and Tuli. So.
Okay, well they're in the other room.
Great, thanks.
Beautiful.
I hope our sister and friend is okay. Do I need to roll for the other room?
She gets even.
Roll on.
I don't know how hotels work.
I don't. Like, what is this? Okay, I knock on their door.
Cool. Either one of you?
Tuli probably starts at the door.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to say, like, Tuli, I don't know if I can even say this, like, and so the sleeps meditates?
Yeah.
Is that something?
Sure.
So she's, like, meditating and runs to the door.
How late is it?
So this would be 2-ish hours after nightfall. So like 9 p.m.
Okay, Gwen's still awake.
Mm-hmm.
So Tuli,
Y'all have been talking for about 2 hours.
See her
even.
hair in many braids.
Beautiful.
Mini break.
so Tuli kind of cracks the door to, like, see who it is kind of cautiously, and then when she sees this Loreleth, she, like, slams it and it, like, bangs against the wall and says, Loreleth! It says, Gwen, it's Loreleth!
Hi. I just wanted to stop by. I had to hang out at the Onyx Pillar Academy for a little bit. Savarin had to give me something.
Oh, really?
Yes, I can't get much into it right now.
Sure.
I'm gonna gesture you into the room so we can shut the door.
Great.
Tuli goes, oh yeah, and stands aside.
Because I'm not asking you to share more, just
Okay.
be cautious.
Great.
Other doors.
Pilgrim was not able to stay at the Cozy Cots. Story for another time.
Good thing we have a room here.
Entirely know it. Yes. Him and I are going to experiment with what Savarin gave us, and I wanted to loop you guys in so you could be ready in case anything goes wrong, and we need your help.
Tuli looks at Gwen and then goes, what did Savarin give you?
She gave us a stone.
Okay. Is this related to, like, the crabs and stuff, or?
We're not sure yet.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm not trying to, like, harsh the mellow. I feel like you should have told us, maybe, right?
Well, so remember when I went to go help Savarin with the soup?
Sure.
This is when she told me it's a long story. She was very guilty and ashamed of it. There are very few people she trusts with it. I was luckily one of them, and she was okay with me telling Pilgrim about it. I care a lot about loyalty and trust, and didn't want to, she was very specific that I couldn't talk to Munkin about it, so I wanted to be careful not to tell many other people. Of course, if something goes wrong, you'll know more.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I have to keep it pretty tight-lipped. I hope you understand.
Sure. That does seem like character traits that you have.
It's a very analytical way to look at me.
What's your Enneagram, by the way?
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So what, you need us as, like, bodyguards? Is he with it now over there? Should we go over there?
He is with it. He hasn't started experimenting with it yet. This is gonna be a silly question, but is this one of those hotels that has, like, the conjoining doors that, like,
No.
oh, damn.
They're all in the same hallway.
Dang it. No. I meant like, You know how like if you're in a hotel room, there can be 2 rooms and then a door that like opens up between them?
Right now, they all lead to the same hallway.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. The one
This
hallway.
is a
with
fantasy
doors.
hotel.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would have more doors. Fantasy.
I get it. More door.
Underrated. Underrated. Good joke.
Maybe just you're pretty quick, Tuli, so I would trust that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would trust that if so what the code will be is I'll knock on your side of the wall because I'm in the room between you and the boys, and if I knock on the wall, I'll trust that you'll be able to get over here quickly. How does that sound?
Do you want me to just like maybe stand in the room, like, or?
No.
Well,
Like I said, I don't know how much I can and can't say yet. But I think that, and I feel like if you stood outside the room, it would be really suspicious if someone's walking down the hallway. So.
Speaking of suspicious. Yeah, that sounds good. But, before we go out on the lake, maybe we could get like a little bit more of a debrief, you know what I mean?
Oh, sure. We will tell you in the morning if we find anything out about it. But
Okay.
in the meantime, I wanted, ignorance is bliss.
I couldn't
A
agree
phrase
more.
I know from not seeing people before.
Right. A phrase. There's a phrase for my people.
Tuli looks at Gwen and says, "Are you okay with this?" Or, yeah?
Do y'all need my help right now, or?
If you hear a knock on the wall, we will. But in the meantime, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Tuli starts like stretching and like moves
She's
over.
ready for something to go wrong.
And like moves over next to the wall so she can like. She's got her spell book ready to go.
Okay.
Joey, are you okay?
I'm okay. I just hit my knee.
You took it like a champ. You were just like, I will not.
Weird spot. I don't know. I'm good.
Leo the fog.
Clear.
Just you meditated
It's
in.
really good they didn't come to our room. It's just really
Yeah.
good. And,
This is why I did it.
that's for the boys.
Cool.
Back
So you
into
get
the
back in
room.
there. Yes. How do you proceed with your experimenting with the stone?
Okay.
You have a bowl of soup on the floor.
Yeah, this is a long shot. Without doing anything, if there was a lid on it, I don't know, but I.
There's no lid. Apparently no lids exist in fantasy world. It's wild to me, but here we are.
It's a
Plastic's not invented yet.
complicated machine lids. All right, get that. Okay, so Pilgrim, the first thing Pilgrim's gonna try. Don't laugh at me. He's gonna look into the soup and he's gonna attempt to mind link.
With the soup?
Can you read?
Or the
No, with the stone!
So mind link it has to be a creature that can understand one language.
Yes. But like within sight, or within range, like how does that work? You have to be familiar with them.
You can speak telepathically to any creature you can see within 20 feet of you. So
Okay.
I need to pour the soup on the floor, basically.
So you're gonna do that so you can see the stone?
Just like looking around, is there anything in the room that I can dump soup into? It's not pouring on the floor.
So like an ice bucket
There's
that's
a chamber
empty?
pot.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna dump the soup.
Hope you don't
I'm
have to
gonna
go to
lose
the
my free meal,
bathroom.
and I'm gonna dump the soup into the toilet first.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're just gonna change containers?
It's bigger.
No, I'm draining the soup
Oh.
so I can see
it.
the stone.
Got it.
No, sorry.
I was like, I don't know that a different container is gonna help you see it better.
Put it in the clear one.
You're decanting the soup.
Dang
I
you
don't
up.
see what's so.
The fine
No,
line.
I
If you were the rest of where Dan went,
I can't look at the stone until all the soup's gone.
I agree.
I don't want to dump it on the floor.
You can't grab
I
it.
just imagined you being like,
It's destroying a Horcrux. You have to eat all of the soup.
I'm gonna take all of
The stone in the bottom of the
You know what would really show that owner of the cozy cottage if I went to his main competitor and dumped soup on their floor?
why don't you just eat the soup?
Well,
We don't know what's wrong with the soup
Maybe
now.
maybe the soup is tainted. It has a magic stone in it.
What if the stone slides down the bowl?
Like ice in
Right.
glass.
I start joking on it, and it makes my insides go to the lake. Turns me inside out like a sock.
It's okay. Julie's ready in case that happens.
Just your stomach
Okay,
goes to the lake.
so I
Julie's gonna be stable.
carefully drain the soup into the chamber pot.
Spare me.
Okay, so now I can see this stone, and I'm going to attempt to mind link with it now.
Okay.
Does anything
It's already-
happen?
You mind link with literally
Oh, my whole body hurts. Okay.
It makes sense right now.
Does
So-
stone a creature?
To get a little more specific,
Talk to
the
me.
bowl itself is like 2 hands wide and pretty tall, and so you dispose of soup. But the stone that is inside is like a little bit larger than a softball, so it's got like a good width to it, and it's a little bit longer, so very oval in shape. Ooh, this is a lot to process in one moment. And so you can see a black stone, but it's transparent as well. And so you can see through it, and there's soup scum, and little bits of vegetables and stuff on it too. But once you pour that out, and you're attempting to mind link too, you can see in the stone like 4 black orbs that all like line up and move, and then you can see little like irises within them. And so 4 eyes on top of each other in a vertical line kind of shift over and look towards you.
Oh, that's creepy.
What do you say when you mind link?
Can you understand me?
Yes. Who are you?
I'm gonna look back at Lorelai.
That's not my name. That's my
That's her
mom.
mom.
Loreleth.
Thank you.
Lorelai.
That's her mom.
That's my mom.
Loreleth. Look back at Loreleth.
Gwen remembers. Thanks, Cassandra
eyebrows
remembers.
raised.
Cassandra remembers.
And then I look back at the stone. And I say, what do you want from us?
Sorry, is all this through MindLink? I can't hear any of this.
Yeah. I just looked at you for a second and I looked back. I haven't said
Cool, that was helpful.
Yep. So you can tell physically so far he's okay.
Okay.
And he's looking over to you and then looking back at the stone. This in your mind back. I just wish to be returned to my brother.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn around and look at Loreleth. I'm gonna say the stone is speaking. And then I'm gonna look
Thanks.
back to the soup bowl with the stone in it. I'm gonna say, your brother.
This is me.
Oh, I was like, the rock.
Stone clears
Which eye is that?
Will you take me back to the lake?
You must understand, the last time you tried to have someone return you to the lake, they were almost murdered by crabs. Do you understand my hesitation in aiding you in your quest?
This is also a long pause for the
Yeah,
stone.
yeah,
This is not just me thinking. Time passes for a while.
Yeah.
And the 4 orbs of eyes just float and look towards you, and you can even see them slit a bit before kind of opening wide again. If you hand me to one of them, it will all be over.
And what do you mean by that?
They would not harm you at all.
Perhaps I was not clear. The last time you were in the possession of one of our companions, that companion either nearly drowned or was killed by crabs.
I know that I can't hear anything that he's saying, but I feel this intuition within me to remind him. Savarian didn't take the stone with her. it stayed, she touched it and then forgot everything that happened. It was in the same place that she left it when I got it. So it was not in her possession when she went to the lake.
Okay. I'm gonna just roll an insight check, just see if I can, if I'm what kind of vibes I'm getting off this stone.
Yeah.
If it seems like it's malicious or if it seems like it's actually trying to be.
You get good vibes. Good vibes all.
Pretty
We'll
nice.
see.
Pretty nice
Vibe
stone.
check.
That is an
Nice.
18 plus
Nice.
20.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Okay. You've not spent much time conversing with this thing, and so to compare it or to know character traits, personality, things like that, any fluctuations of emotion like that is not present, and you don't have much like face to read like you're normally able to as well. This is simply tone of voice and eyes looking at you, and with that, the traits or things you've been able to pick up is in that long pause. It felt like to you it was calculating, it was thinking very deeply and choosing its words specifically. And then it asked about if you would just do that task. So also what becomes clear to you is like very important to it.
Yeah.
And it seems to be its only interest. And as you are reading into these things and focusing, I also want you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Which I have advantage on because of dual mind.
But he's not touching it.
He's literally
Yeah,
linked
but
his mind.
yeah. That's pretty dangerous.
It's worse.
Uh-oh.
But his ears are plugged.
Okay, well, I rolled a nat 1, so.
It was with advantage though, right?
Yeah, but a nat 1 is a nat 1 is a nat 1.
No.
If it's with advantage, you ignore the bottom, no matter what it is. So
Well, I rolled a 2, so it's 2 plus 3, 15. sorry,
No, 12.
12.
Oh my god! I was like, you rolled a
Go to
1
the
and then a
I
2!
forgot I did it. 12 plus 3, 15.
Are your dice purple? That's fine.
My ears are purple.
you feel
Yeah,
your
but he
mind.
cares about the color purple.
Gosh, this is very important.
And you missed it, so let's move on. No. You can feel your mind as you're linked in, like almost tunnel in, where all of your subconscious and thoughts and processing go away, and it's just you're in this conversation. And all that matters is the words that this creature says.
Do I notice anything?
And then you fight and push out in ways that you have been trained to do.
Okay.
And you notice him struggle for a moment, and his eyes close, and then he opens them again.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna say, do that again, and rather than return you to the lake, I will do everything in my power to have your container destroyed.
Eyes recede.
Oh, I made him shy.
Okay. Great. So I turn around and I look at Loreleth. I swivel with the stone because I want the stone to hear what I'm saying.
You're holding the stone?
I'm holding the bowl with the stone.
Oh, okay.
Having my little bowl. And I was like, it would appear our gold mineral friend is being a misbehaving, petulant child. I should say, mentioned a desire to be returned to a brother at the lake. When I tried to ask reasonable questions to clarify, it did try to seize my mind as it seemed to do with Savarin previously. Frankly, I do not trust this stone, but it clearly it is both alive, very intelligent, and has some sort of deep connection to something within the lake. This stone also claimed, or the creature within this stone claimed, that that were we to hold it, these crab creatures would not harm us. Whether or not this is true, I do not trust this creature. I do not think it is wise for us to entertain the idea of holding this stone unless we think that with our full party that perhaps counterbalances the risks, if you understand my meaning.
Can I do a religion check on the stone?
It wouldn't be a religion check, but I mean, yeah, like, what are you getting at? What are you hoping to...
Well, you know my suspicions of most things in this world.
Okay.
She just wants to know if the stone's born again.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll a religion check. Right?
Okay.
Oh no, it's a cat.
Oh, God.
20.
Okay. And all of your experience with the stone, the things you've heard about it, and all backstory information and stuff that you have read or been told, and all of that, you see no compatibility or overlap of anything at this point right now.
Okay. Do you think it would... What do you think would happen if we took it to the lake tomorrow?
I do believe we would receive many answers to questions. I also believe we would be putting our party at risk. I do think the question is weighing cost-benefit analysis of sorts, I suppose. If we...
Meanwhile, in the room. Listening through the wall.
I have a question for Dan.
Yeah.
Whenever, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
This is kind of like a D&D etiquette question, but so when there's conversations that my character would not have heard, but I have like a thought about like interpretation of like something a character said or something like that, is it like copacetic to share that, or is that like meant? Is
I'd
it
say
better
no.
to?
Yeah, that you would rely on people who are playing into their own characters for that, trusting that they would kind of intuit or think through those things. I am totally open and fine with like strategizing and conversing out of the table later, but leaving those moments to be kind of just led and continued in their own right.
Good to know.
This table's coming for us tonight. Slam it into it.
Take me to the lake!
Y'all are the best at it.
Yeah. What seems clear to me is that whatever entity, it should be not now.
Again, if we've made a horrible misjudgment, by all means interrupt me as an omnipotent DM.
No, but
my mental capabilities only work with living creatures. So there is something very much alive within this stone. We have no understanding at this point whether or not this living creature seeks our good or our destruction. I can understand that were I separated from a brother, I would very much wish to be returned to it too, and I understand that being an all-consuming thought. So it could be that this is a creature eager to be returned to a brother, and that is simply that, and it is willing to go to very extreme lengths to get there. It could also be that this is simply a trap that ends in our severe wounding or death. It could be any of these things. It, at least at the moment, is choosing to refuse to elaborate further, even though doing so might end in it getting exactly what it wants.
And then in the moment, I look at the stone again and I'm mindfully going to say, isn't that right?
you receive silence. And
Pilgrim sasses.
I respond, Julie doesn't have the ability to hear through things, does she?
you know,
Okay. Alright.
Can I hear? Is it thin enough that I could hear?
would truly be trying to listen.
She'd be standing really close. With her
You're
hands.
about to have to roll something to check.
No, maybe, but I'm like standing against the wall, like listening for vibrations to hear if there's danger. I'm not trying to hear the conversation,
Okay.
but would I overhear it anyway?
If you were not trying to, then
no.
I would say no. You would
Okay.
not passively pick up on anything.
So I prepared Gwen and Tuli in case anything went wrong. Tuli was very interested in what we were doing. However, I felt loyal to Savarin to not share more than feels necessary. However, thinking back on conversations that took place at dinner, and what we've learned about Tuli so far, I feel as though she may have some insight to the stone. What do you think?
I must confess, I am a student at heart, and I am truly fascinated by this strange, if petty, stone that we find in our possession. I, for one, am curious to see where this where this fantasy rabbit hole goes. So then I start to walk towards the door to go and talk to our friends.
Okay, great.
Friend?
Okay. Is this a full group gather or?
No, there's.
Oh, well, let me just.
Joey and I are just gonna go.
We're just jokes!
Hey,
I must note, it seems like you called out very specific members of our party. Do you wish this to remain a private matter?
For right now, yes. Just because Savarin very specifically wanted me to not tell certain people. I was even hesitant to let Tuli and Gwen know much about what was happening over here because I had not asked her permission for it. I don't want to put her in further danger than she already may be. I don't know what the danger could be, but I want to make sure everyone involved, including Savarin, stays safe. So for now, I would just like to talk to Tuli.
And I just nod. Not necessarily agreeing, but just like, I guess, respecting the stance. And so I go with it.
It's the cake all over again.
Okay, so you head over to the other room.
Yeah.
You said just Tuli.
No.
I did.
Tuli to come over.
I did
or
just
like-
say Tuli.
Oh, okay.
Question for you, Pilgrim. Tell me, how does your brain talk thing work?
I simply have to see someone, and that person has to be within 20 feet.
You have to see them, though?
Yes.
Okay. So you can't just call over to Tuli. She'll come over
But
here.
if we made a little pee-pee hole, I could
Oh my.
Okay, we walk over next door, we knock on the door, and I say, Tuli, I would like you to join us.
Tuli cracks the door and sees you and then slams it open.
Oh my gosh.
I was listening.
And she, like, before you can even finish talking, she says, Loreleth, Gwen, it's Loreleth.
Oh gosh.
Tuli,
Yes.
I need you to be quieter, as this is potentially a very private and dangerous matter. Don't want to involve any more people than need to be involved for sake of keeping everyone safe. I would like you to join Pilgrim and I in the other room to discuss what I mentioned earlier. Gwen, I hope you understand.
Gwen rolls over and goes to bed.
Great. I need no sleep, so I'm good. I didn't realize that I didn't ask Pilgrim. Pilgrim, are you okay staying up? Do you need to rest?
I just try. The ball's like,
I am fascinated by this stone, and I simply wish to learn more.
Okay.
So Tuli desperately wants to make friends, but she's also, she comes across as like dumb, but as a character, her intelligence rating is high. And so she's kind of standing, but she's like, she still really wants y'all to like her. So she says, she like comes out in the hall and closes the door and says, so yeah, I understand why you want to keep it secret. I mean, you know, maybe if, you know, you told me earlier, I wouldn't have slammed the door open. But anyway, here's the thing. If we are all going to risk our lives tomorrow morning on this venture, I'm going to want to debrief everyone. If not now, then in the morning. And you can think on that. I just want you to know, whatever you tell me, I'm going to tell everyone else. But in the morning, sure. I can wait until the morning.
I appreciate you giving that warning. And I look at Pilgrim. Can I still mind link with him?
For an hour.
Has he done it within an hour?
He's done it to the stone last, so you have to re-mind link with her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Connection complete.
you give him a knowing look. He mind links.
Yeah.
Hello.
What do you think? Do you think it's okay that the whole party knows?
I must admit that I do not share your conviction to keep this a private matter at this point.
Okay.
What an answer
I look back at Julie and go,
for president.
okay. And I open the door.
Julie, like, with the formality, just, like, bows.
Okay. We can shorthand that. Knocks at the door. Full group gets.
Oh no.
Oh.
I want to do this separately. We tell them in the morning. Because I don't want to put anyone in danger that doesn't need to be in danger. Like,
Okay.
Julie
And
wants
she
to talk
hates
to
our
the
two
stone.
characters. Yeah, she doesn't want to talk.
I don't hate their characters.
She very much dislikes it.
However, Cicero is very drunk at the moment,
Right.
sleeping it off,
Yeah.
and I don't like misery.
Great.
That was kind of Julie's compromise, is we have to get the full group involved.
Right.
Yeah.
It's first thing.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
not like
Got it.
I'm okay with first thing in the morning,
Okay.
but for the time being, it's the three of us.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
where's, you want me to look at something, or?
Julie, before we go any further in this strange stone journey, I feel we must confront something that happened earlier. The last time I tried mind linking with you, it seemed to not go overly well.
Julie goes, and kind of tucks her hands, kind of like is rocking on her heels. Yes.
I must warn you that what I have in my hands is a very mental object, if you catch my drift, and to continue down this path safely will involve you and I communicating in a way that seems to have caused great displeasure to you in the past. Is this territory we can move towards?
Tuli kind of stands and does like some kind of like focusing pose and kind of takes like a deep breath and says, thank you for the warning, Pilgrim. Yes.
Okay. And then I'm going to try to give as reassuring of a look as I can to Tuli. And I'm going to mind link and then basically just say everything that I just said to her. Just like, it's looking for its brother, here's the situation, everything that you heard us discuss.
Yeah.
I re-say to you so that you're like fully up to speed. And then I come out of mind link and say, that being said, do you think you have a way? What are your insights into this situation?
I would like to make an Arcana check.
Okay.
I kind of hold the bowl at her.
And I say, well, it seems like some kind of beef wolf stew.
You would have to consult the Chamberpot.
I got a 19 plus 5.
Okay.
Nice.
Not around.
Okay. Utter failure. Okay. Digging deep back into your backstory and trying to sort through. Okay.
If only I had some sort of Word document.
No, I mean for me to create the thread that.
Oh, it's the Mind Stone, and Thanos is coming.
Yes. Okay. In classes and learning magical arts, and also learning about the way that people from this plane are progressing in their understanding of magic. You remember that toying with transplanting minds and putting them into other things hooked people in and was a fervent study from prominent individuals on this plane. And so this was more like a, by the way, this is happening kind of thing. It wasn't of great importance. It wasn't like this is wild or crazy or we need to do something about it. It was just, here's a thing that people are doing, certain people are doing. And in looking at this stone and thinking about the functions and working of magic, that is a very easy reconnection to yes, this makes sense. You've heard of this. People were playing with this type of magic.
I repeat that.
Yeah.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
choked to death. Ah.
Thule is kind of what I have. So knowing that it's a mind, I would say, and okay, I know the whole conversation. I would say, and you told me about the exact words of. He said, "Give it to one of them," and
Yeah, I recounted our whole exchange that we had mentally.
It will all be over, is what he said.
And
it
I
will all
said-
be over. Yeah, they won't harm you, all that stuff.
when he said one of them, did he mean us or did he mean like give it to one of the crabs?
Did you say that mentally or did you say it out loud?
Are we still mind linked?
We are for the next hour.
Okay.
Embarrass me out loud.
Also, Thule is going.
What?
What is it in friends? No, say it with your lips.
Also, Thule is starting to go a little. She has this kind of like reddish gray skin. It's starting to pale a little bit, very slowly as during the mind link process.
Okay.
And she says it verbally.
Okay. I'm gonna say that. I mean, that seems like a pretty obvious thing to perceive that she's having a hard time with the mindly stuff. So I'm just gonna switch to the normal talking again. And I'm gonna say,
At this point, our conversation was cut short. It's hard to know if this entity's brother is a crab creature, if he is the father jewel, if it is some other entity that we have yet to meet. It would seem as fearsome as the prospect may be, that the best way to answer our questions at this stage is to continue with our plan to go to the lake in the morning. I would say that this entity did try to capture my mind earlier tonight, and I was able to resist it once. I am willing to be a guinea pig, a fantasy guinea pig of sorts, to see what does in fact occur if this stone is taken in hand to the lake.
It seems like worst case scenario, and she says this to both Laura and Pilgrim. It seems like worst case scenario, maybe we could use this to lure the crabs out.
That's what I was thinking as well. I just was, as is a common worry of mine, worried for everyone's safety if we bring it with us, since it wasn't specific about saying. It was very specific in how it chose its words to Pilgrim to say that if it's handed over, everything will stop. But it didn't elaborate much more than that. And that makes me worried that it was very specific and then shut off completely and didn't answer.
Sure, everything could stop and something worse could start, am I right?
You are correct.
Can Tuli make an investigation check of the stone?
What are you looking for? What are you trying to understand?
To see like if I have any insight into like the wizard who crafted it, or like if I see any markings that say like identify anything on the surface. Anything like that.
I would carry on the Arcana check you already made for that, which was very high. And for you also asking for detail like this, you can see a faint glimmer of some runes written onto the stone. But as soon as they catch your attention, they also fade. And so you rolled really high on your Arcana check. So yeah, you'd have to spend some time like with it and looking for it to maybe get a chance to study them more deeply.
Okay. I'm gonna tell them what I just saw.
Yeah.
And then say, maybe I could, I'm getting grayer and grayer. And I say, I think it's great for us to go in the morning. I think we should fill everybody in. I would love to, if you guys are okay with this, I think we should maybe be in a group while I do this, but I would love to sit and study this just through the night, not touching it. The runes, I think maybe I could divine something from those runes that might be helpful to us. But I'll just kind of sit and meditate as part of my art while I look at this stone. That being said, will you please excuse me? And then Thule, darts into the nearest room. Turns out maybe it's y'all's room. Runs to the chamber pot and vomits into the soup.
Uh-oh.
Into the chamber pot.
Nice.
And you just kind of hear her, returning the stew unto itself.
You're not running the chamber pot, you're just letting the soup.
I'm just holding the bowl. I'm just showing Pilgrim with the soup, standing in the hallway or whatever. Just holding the soup.
I thought we were in the room doing all of this.
You were in their room.
Oh, okay.
That's
Well,
what
then
I
I do that
Sure.
in the room.
So yeah, you've got the chamber pot ready to go.
And I am checked out of the conversation.
I look over at Pilgrim and say, I am very cautious to say this, but I trust you and I trust your mental capabilities. What are your thoughts on what she just said? And also, I would like to suggest one step further, as it seems you were able to protect yourself from the stone. If Thule, as we know, Thule is from a different plane. I don't entirely know what that means, but I assume that it means that she has different capabilities than you and I and those of this world, and I am curious if the stone would have the same effect on her as it does on us. Would you be able to protect her if she were to touch the stone?
Before we cross that bridge, and I point towards the vomiting sounds coming from the bathroom, I feel we should discover what this is all about before we ask this woman to climb onto an enchanted evil rock.
Yes, of course.
But this is an interesting prospect. I had not even considered that perhaps the rules of magic in our plane may not align with the rules of magic in her plane. We'll simply have to find out, I suppose.
Can Thule hear this? Okay, Thule kind of
Between vomit.
yeah, sure. That's still over, and she kind of raises her finger. It's I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Perhaps, well, it would seem I am indisposed. Perhaps we should sleep for 4 or 5 hours. Wake up at first sunlight. Wake up the others. Fill them in, and then continue with our experimentation with more hands on deck, so to speak. Vomits.
I am in favor of this plan.
Great. Okay.
Tuli says, "May I borrow this?" Takes it.
You replace it with your clean one. You're like, this will be mine. Okay. So you can proceed to a full rest throughout the rest of the night.
Long rest.
And trying to remember who's in the room. Yeah, y'all two are in a room together. Y'all can feel free to discuss off table too if anything additional happens. And any communication you two would like to do. Y'all are back to sleep, so Gwendolyn, you are asleep by the time she gets back. Y'all have been asleep for a good amount of time. What was happening for the last hour in your world?
Well,
Boys' night.
Sister was asleep.
Sleeping the whole time.
And so I was, just messing with him. I drew,
You drew a mustache on him?
yeah, a mustache. I drew a mustache on him. Just a mustache. And nothing else.
Only that.
And
Only mustache.
dipped his hand in water. Yeah, stuff like that. I kept myself busy because I was not tired yet.
What does Cicero sound like when he wakes up in the morning?
Very tired.
We can start next episode with the morning, with you all debriefing and connecting and talking. And so we end with this rest, this discussion over the stone and its implications, and trying to plan this lake jaunt well and carefully. So that's where we'll go next time.
Great.
Lake Quest.
Next time on
Good talk, guys.
Populous. Lake Populous.
Lake Town.
Technical long rest or not really?
It is a long rest, but since nobody lost
God,
health,
if
nobody
there's
used
anything.
features. If you used spells or anything, you would get those back too.
Cool.
But
We
this
just get
week-
to hop to level 10 because we actually.
This is why not.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever
Go up
lost
to
twice in a row, you
levels.
get to level 10.
Yeah.
But that was officially the second full day of the campaign, right? We had the first full day,
Nice.
and then we had this whole day.
Yeah.
So yeah, trying to keep track of that calendar.
Day 3.
What?
Day 3 is gonna be a big one. I can
Mhm.
tell.
Yeah.
I'm hyped.
Combat.
To
Let's
catch a
just do it.
crab.
This
Day 3.
this session went very different than you thought it was going to go, though, didn't it?
I'm very happy with this session.
Yeah.
It went very differently than like 2 sessions ago, episode 3 or 4, episode 4. And this is like very plot centric, very like okay, what's actually happening,
Good.
which is super cool.
Not cake centric.
And
Not cakes.
It was almost soup centric.
and
Too much about
We tried.
Yeah.
my favorite thing with a lot of this conversation is like the ways that y'all have created some backstory and things have like woven into the things that I've created as this story of like I'm telling a thing and I've created a thing, but also you all are telling a thing and have written something into your characters, and to see how what I'm saying or what has happened in the world is being kind of like transcribed and understood by your characters. Watching that happen has just been so fascinating to me. And that's why that's my thing. That's why I love D&D is that whole transaction we have makes what comes out of us as a group so unique and so cool. So I've really appreciated this.
Great.
Yeah.
Yay!
And also Joey and Jim.